You are listening to the William Gomes Podcast. I am William Gomes and I'm grateful to have you here. Today, I want to talk about learning, not in the narrow sense of school performance or test scores, but in the deeper sense of how autistic minds take in information, make meaning, and grow. Autistic learning is often described as unusual or uneven. Some skills develop quickly, while others take more time. Some areas show exceptional strength, while others require support. But these patterns are not random. They reflect real differences in how autistic cognition develops. And when we understand those differences, we can create learning environments that nurture rather than overwhelm autistic children and adults. Many autistic learners begin with a strong focus on details. They may notice patterns, shapes, or facts long before they grasp broader concepts. For some, this is a strength that becomes a foundation for expertise. For others, it can make typical teaching methods difficult to access. When a teacher presents a big idea without breaking it down, the autistic learner may feel lost, not because they lack intelligence, but because they need the building blocks before the overview. Another feature of autistic learning is deep, sustained focus. When an autistic person becomes interested in a topic, their engagement can be remarkable. They may explore it with intensity, curiosity, and precision. This passion driven learning is powerful. It often leads to deep knowledge, original insights, or creative expression. But when learning is driven by external pressure, deadlines, group activities, or noisy environments, the same learner may struggle. Focus thrives in calm, structured spaces, not in chaos. Prediction also shapes learning. Many autistic individuals learn best when they know what to expect, what the task involves, how long it will take, and what the steps are. When instructions are vague or tasks shift suddenly, learning becomes stressful. Anxiety rises, processing slows, and the person may appear inattentive or resistant. But when the environment is predictable, many autistic learners flourish. Sensory processing plays a role too. Bright lights, loud noises, or visual clutter can make it almost impossible to concentrate. A child who seems restless or distracted might be overwhelmed by sensory input. An adult who avoids group discussions might be trying to manage sensory overload rather than avoiding participation. When we reduce sensory stress, learning becomes easier. Communication differences also influence learning. Autistic people often prefer clear, direct language. They may struggle with implied meanings or figurative speech. They may need extra time to process verbal information or may benefit from written instructions. When communication aligns with their processing style, they absorb information more effectively. Another aspect of autistic learning is uneven development. A child may read years ahead of their age but struggle with practical skills. An adult may excel in analytical tasks but find everyday decision making overwhelming. Thus, differences reflect the unique way autistic brains allocate attention and process the world. They are not signs of inconsistency, they are signs of a mind that operates on a different rhythm. Autistic learning also reflects strengths in memory. Many autistic individuals have excellent long term memory, especially for details related to their interest. They may remember facts, patterns, melodies, or visual information with clarity. This strength can support both academic learning and everyday skills as long as teaching methods build on these natural abilities. One of the most important things to remember is that autistic learners thrive when their interests are valued. Too often, their passions are dismissed as narrow or obsessive, but these intense interests are powerful learning tools. They provide motivation, emotional regulation, and a pathway for developing new skills. When educators and families recognize this, learning becomes joyful rather than pressured. Supporting autistic learning means shifting our expectations. Instead of demanding conformity to typical classroom models, we adapt the environment. We use structure, clarity, and visual supports. We break tasks into steps. We allow extra processing time. We honor sensory needs. And importantly, we listen to the autistic person's perspective on what helps them learn best. Learning is not a race, it's a process of building understanding in ways that make sense to the individual. Autistic learners do not need to be pushed into neurotypical learning styles. They need spaces that respect their rhythm, their curiosity, and their ways of thinking. In the next episode, we will explore how behavior arises from this learning and sensory pathways, and why behavior is always communication rather than defiance. But for now, I hope this episode invites you to view autistic learning with compassion, respect, and a sense of possibility. Thank you for listening. This is the William Gomes Podcast. Take care of yourself, stay curious, and I will speak with you again soon.